Good day, class. So let's do the assessment for quarter 4, week 6 to 7 and week 8 to 9. So for the part 1 of your worksheet, directions, read the problem below and perform the given task. Write your answer on a one-whole intermediate paper. Smoking leads to disease and disability and harms nearly every organ of the body. One of the ingredients in tobacco is a mood-alerting drug called nicotine. Nicotine is extremely habit-forming, which is why people find smoking so difficult to quit. Consider the following nicotine levels of 40 smokers. So on your worksheet, binigyan kayo ng 40 smokers. For explanation purposes, binago ko yung data para susundan ninyo yung flow, yung process ng pagkakagawa ko. Pero magkakaiba tayo ng number. So, ibig sabihin, ang makukuha kong sagot dito, iba sa makukuha ninyong sagot dyan. So, ang task ninyo dito ay conduct a mini research study using the given data, apply the knowledge and skills you have learned in this lesson to evaluate and interpret the nicotine level of 40 smokers. Based on the result of your research conducted, formulate a meaningful interventions or recommendation that will help smokers to be aware of the negative effects of nicotine level intake in the body. So you're asked to formulate an intervention or recommendation that you are going to formulate in order to help smokers to be aware of the negative effects of nicotine level intake. So, para makagawa tayo ng meaningful interpretation sa data natin na yan, kailangan natin siyang isulat in a frequency distribution table. So, ito yung raw data natin. So, kailangan i-arrange natin yan sa frequency distribution table. So, pag sinabi natin frequency distribution table, ito yung table na mayroon kayong classes, tapos may frequency, may mga lower boundary, at may mga cumulative frequency. So, on your grade 8, tinuruan kayo kung paano gumawa ng frequency distribution table. So, I hope naaalala nyo pa yun. Pero today, babalikan natin kung paano gawin yung frequency distribution table. Okay, so our step 1 is to determine the number of classes. So, to determine the number of classes, we just need to use the square root of n. So, n is the total number of observation. In this case, ang n natin is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 4 is 36. So, that means we have square root of 36. The square root of 36 is 6. So, kung halimbawa ang makuha ninyo ay 6.3, so i-round off nyo lang to whole number, magiging 6. Kung ang makuha ninyo ay 6.7, magiging siyang 7 yung sagot. The next step is to find the range. To find the range, we need to use the formula highest score minus the lowest score. In this case, the highest score is 26, while the lowest score is 1. So 26 minus 1, that is 25. The third step is to determine your interval size. To determine the interval size, we need to use the formula I equals the range divided by the number of classes. So our range is 25. The number of classes is 6. So 25 divided by 6, that is 4.2, or approximately 4. That means our interval must be 4. Now that we have determined these 3 steps, we can construct our frequency distribution table. Okay, ngayon na-determine na natin yung number of classes natin, which is 6. Gumawa tayo ng table na mayroon ding 6 na box. Tapos, na-determine din natin na yung interval size natin ay 4. So, let's start to construct our frequency distribution table. So, the first lowest number on our raw data is 1. Tapos, sabi niya, our interval is 4. So, that means it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So, that is 4. So, the next number would be 5. So, we have 5, 6, 7, 8. The next number will be 9. So, we have 9, 10, 11, 12. The next number is 13. So, you have 13, 14, 15, 16. The next number is 17. So, you have 17, 18, 19, 20. The next number is 21. So, 21, 22, 23, 24. So, 24 and above belongs to this class. Now, let's start with a tally. So, the 5, 12, 6, after tallying, we need to write the frequency. So, this is 6, this is 5, this is 8. So, ayan, naputol tayo, no? So, ulitin ko lang, para makuha itong frequency, bilangin nyo lang itong tally. Sa less than CF naman, mag-start kayo dito sa may lowest na class. So, ang frequency niya 7, 7 plus 5 is 12, 12 plus 5, 17, and so on. Sa lower boundary naman, nagsusubtract tayo ng 0.5 sa mga lower limit. So, 21 minus 0.5 is 20.5. 17 minus 0.5 is 16.5, and so on. So, ganyan tayo mag-construct ng table. Okay, so from this table, di ba, nagawa nyo na yun yung frequency distribution table ng 40 smokers. So, pwede na kayong mag-compute ng inyong mga measures of position like the percentile, the decile, and the quartile. So, depende na sa inyo kung anong measures of position ang gagamitin nyo. So, for presentation purposes, I would like to use the quartile 3. So, say for example, I will look for the quartile 3. So, diba, ang quartile, hinahati natin ang dataset into 4, diba? So, dahil ako ay nasa quartile 3, ibig sabihin, yung 75% yung hinahanap ko. So, sinabi ko yun kasi kakailangan ko mamaya sa interpretation. So, quartile 3. So, ang formula natin, diba, ay hindi natin pwedeng piliin si quartile si 25 kasi mababa siya. So, dito tayo Okay, so, no, 27, pasok siya dito. Now, plug in na natin siya sa ating formula. So, ibig sabihin, ang magiging lower boundary natin ay yung 16.5 plus yung kn over 4 natin kanina is 27. Less than CF before is 25. Our frequency is 5. Our interval is 4. So you have 16.5 plus 27 minus 25 is 2 over 5 times 4. So we have 2 divided 5 is 0.4 times 4, that is 1.6. So we have 16.5 plus 1.6. So, 16.5 plus 1.6 is equal to 18.1. So, dahil nakuha na natin na yung ating quartile 3 ay 18.1, let us have the interpretation. So di ba yun sa problem doon, yung binigay niya is yung nicotine levels. So, yung mga classes niya dito. So, dahil ito na yung ating findings, gawa na tayo ng ating mga intervention or recommendation. So, anong mga bagay na po pwede nyo i-recommend para mapababa yung nicotine levels ng mga smokers na yun? Ano yung mga suggestions ninyo? So, yun lang yung gagawin ninyo doon sa part 1. So, for part 2, direction, interpret the following problems, applying your understanding about measures of precision. Write your answer on the space provided below the question. So, kailangan natin i-interpret itong mga situation na to. So, example ko lang yung number 1. Miss Ancheta gave a test in her math class. The 80th percentile score is 30. What is its measure of position in relation to other data? So, ang pwede natin maging interpretation dito is that our interpretation would be if a student scored 30, he or she belongs to the top 20%. So, ibig sabihin, kabilang siya doon sa kung 100 sila. So, kung 100 lahat ng mga nag-score na, nag-take na estudyante, so, kabilang siya sa top 20. At merong 80% naman doon sa lahat ng nag-take ng data na mas mababa ang nakuhang score sa 30. So, ibig sabihin, 30 is a good score kasi nasa 80% na sila. So, the rest of the items kaya na lang ang sasagot.